Welcome back. In today's coding challenge, we're going to build a website which changes color every single time that we reload it, and we can also force a new color that changes the background on the click of a button. Note, we'll also be telling the user what actual hex we've been using. So let's get started. Now I've gone ahead and cleared my Visual Studio Code, so I've got an index.html, and that is just rendering straight to here. So if I reload this page, we get pretty much a blank canvas. So first things first, let's load in Bootstrap. So I'm going to type in cdn bootstrap. I'm just going to click on the first one, which is getbootstrap.com, and I'm just going to take in the HTML to call in Bootstrap so we don't get the default styling. Fantastic. I'm also going to navigate to the navbar whilst I'm here, and I'm going to choose navbar as a link. So let's just take that and whack that down in our body. So let's call this something creative like color picker, and let's just make sure our indentation is correct. So now if we load up our website, we get color picker and we've got some simple navigation. Okay, so first things first, we want to make sure that we can actually change the background. So let's start off by typing script, and I'm going to write document.body.style.background, and then it is equal to, and I'm going to give it a string. So what we're saying, the background of the document, which accesses the body property, which goes to declare the style, and we're saying it's not the color or anything like that. We want to change the background. So I'm going to put in a hex in here, and I'm going to say 0000. Save that, and let's load up our background. Brilliant. So we know that we can declare the background. So I suppose to move forward and understand how we're going to do this, we first need to understand how does a hex value actually get formed. So what forms a hex? And a hex code is a 3-byte hexadecimal used in HTML, CSS, yada yada yada. And basically it's followed by a hashtag, then 6 digits using either numbers or letters containing A to F. So what we need to do is we need to make sure that we've got 6 digits and they contain either 0 to 9 and A to F in those slots. So let's go ahead and do that. So there are a few ways that we can do this. I'm going to console log the way that I like doing it. So what I'm going to say is math.random. Well, what is math.random? Let's save that. Let's open up our browser, go to inspect, and I'm just going to pull up the console, and I'm just going to reload. Math.random gives us a random number between 0 and 1. So you might be thinking, well, how can we turn that into a hex? Well, we have this function available to us, which is toString. If I save that and reload, right now you'll be going, well, nothing's changed. That's not a string and that's not the hex. Well, that's because we've not given it a base to go off. So if I give it a digit here and say, right, okay, work with 0s and 1s, if I reload this, now our random number becomes 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, and so on. Now, what I've done over here is I've console logged every step of the way, just to make it easier and really demonstrate, well, as we're working our way up, so toString 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all the way up to 16, what this is saying is use digits 0 to 9 and A to F. Well, that's exactly what we needed. We needed hex is built by 0 to 9 and A to F. So if I load up the window again, so if we give it a base of 2, we use 0s and 1s. If we give it a base of 3, we use 0 to 1s, 2s. If we use 4, we get 3, 0, 2, and 1. And I think you see where this is going. And over time, we'll slowly get to the point where we go, well, actually, now we're starting to incorporate A's and B's. And you know what, let me zoom in just to make this really clear. So 0s and 1s, 2s, 3s, 4s, 5s get included, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we should have an A. Now we've got a B, C. Do we have these? Yes, we've got these, E's, and now F's. So we've given it a 16 and we've worked our way up. And now what we've got is these first 6 characters, we can actually extract this. at this point, there's a few different ways. We could probably times this up here by 16 and then extract it, whatever, but we can use what's called a substring here. So we can say, well, actually, substring, I'm going to start from the second letter and I want to receive the next 6 letters. So if I refresh this a few times, if you look, this is actually building a hex every single time. So let's do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave these console logs in for the time being. I'm going to knock down, and then I'm going to take this console log, paste it in here, and I'm going to say, well, from this random number, and which has been converted to a string, I'm going to substring. Oh, that's not right. Substring. And at what point do you want to start? So you can see here, from it needs a number, and the length, it needs a number. But I want to go from the second point, and I want 6. So if I save this, now this should be our hex. Let's save that, reload our window, and we get a hex. So now, as you can imagine, it's relatively straightforward. It's just a case of putting it all together. So what we're going to do is we're going to build this into a function. I'm going to take this here, and I'm going to delete all these console logs. I'm going to say function get new color is going to be returning. Let's just whack that in here for the time being. So return plus, so hashtag, because we obviously need to declare it's a hex, and then we're going to get our substring. So I'm going to save that, and instead of returning, actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to say let, that's not let, I'm going to say let color is equal to this. So now what we can do is we can take our document body style background, and we can change the hex that we've hard coded into the color that we've just declared. Additionally, what we can do is we can probably come up here and whack in a H1, and I just like putting an ID in it. We could probably use a get element by tag, but I'm just going to use a get element by ID. So I'm going to say up here is the color, and I'm going to say let H1 actually, yeah, let's just rather than storing it in a variable, I'm going to say document dot get element by ID. I'm going to say color, color, and then I'm going to say dot inner text is equal to, and now we can just pass it this color. So I'm going to save this. Now the problem that we've got here is obviously this is just a function, nothing's happening with it, so we need to call this function when the window first loads. We do that by typing window dot load, onload is equal to a function, and then we need to do something in here. Well, we need to call our get new color. So now every single time that the page is loaded, we need to call our function, which is get new color. Now you might be thinking, well, why didn't we just put that in there rather than creating a whole new function? Well, because we're going to be adding a button, as well as being able to call it on load, we can then just call it with the click of a button. But let's just see how this is so far. Save this, open it up, and fantastic. We're getting a new hex every single time that we reload. So let's just go ahead and go back to Bootstrap, and let's type in button. So I want to see what buttons are available to us. On the preview I use this dark, but we've got all of these options. So I'm just going to take the button here, open up our code, and then I'm just going to, in the navigation, knock down onto a new line. I'm just going to say get color. Save that. Now obviously this isn't doing anything. We need to hook this button up to our get new color. Well, what I'm going to say is on click, I want you to do something. Well, get new color. Now by getting a new color on click, what we're essentially saying is do the exact same as what's happening on load. We're just calling this function, getting a new color, setting the background, and then setting the text as whatever the hex is. So if we save this and we load up our window again, reload, and we still get our color, so we've not broken anything there, and we click on get new color, and now it's triggering that function as well. And that's all there is to it. You know, it's relatively straightforward. I hope that makes sense to everyone. But if you do have any questions, please feel free to leave a comment down below. Until next time, guys, take it easy.